So we're going to paint a pumpkin today. Not a whole pumpkin, a quarter of pumpkin. So we're not painting on the pumpkin, we're painting pumpkins in the painting. Let's play with the composition. So you can use any color to start it. Mix this color and the three colors together. How about that? The three primary colors. It's just similar to a little brown color like this. And let's see. This is the available space, right? So when you see, let's draw it. Draw it really fast. Draw a little bit like a loose. Okay. You don't need to commit to something too quickly. Maybe something like this, and think about that. I'm going to include a little catch the shadow over here. Now I'm gonna move it a little bit more to the left. So keep yourself a little bit more flexible at the beginning, and just think about what it would give you the best impression. And this is the bottom. So this would be this a little, the other side, a little bit like that. And if you think it's too big, and you can make it smaller. So, but don't check with yourself until you're happy before you move on to the next step. If you move on to the next step, you are harder to come back to the first step because you're emotionally involved with what you've done. And more time you invest into the painting, it will be harder for you to come back. So something like this. And now I'm thinking about what color I want to use for the painting. I know like in the reference or you're looking at the setup, it already has colors. But you don't have to stick with the color that you have. Maybe the pumpkin, I'm going to stick with that color. But I can still thinking about maybe lighter, maybe a little bit darker. Right? Let's play with the color. I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to use some retarder medium. So I'm going to let the paint stay a little bit wet a little bit longer. And what I want to do, I'm going to get a little bit more yellow color. Let's start from inside the tissue. Okay, thank you. I'm going to remove the old paint in here. So I'm going to start mix a little brighter orange color. So get a little red over here like this. And then need a lot more white. Now, that's a little bit more yellow. Just thinking about what does it look like on the light side of that. I'm going to add a little bit medium, the retarder medium over here, so I can start painting in here. Right now, you don't need to thinking about the detail or any detail other than the big color, how it look like. Because the next decision you're gonna make is basically and what color they're going to goes well together in the painting, right? And the next side, I'm just going to add a little bit darker color like this, a little bit more red coming to the other side. And you can change the shape if you want. Okay, inside over here, a little bit darker. Have something like this. And because of the materials inside over here, you don't have to make it all solid. Because we're not sure this is the color we're going to go for, right? Just give a little color over there so easier for you to make up your mind, like that. So whatever painting you do, whatever subject matter you do, you have to let yourself a little bit more, let your mind a little bit easier to go with like a one little decision at a time. You don't want to make up like 10 decisions at once. That's not enjoyable, right? And over here, probably, I'm not sure. I'm going to decide on outside first before I come over here because the color over here was affected by the table color. Is that right? We already know that. Now, what I want to do, I'm looking at the reference. The outside color now very similar to the color of the light side, the value. The color a bit different, but the value, the dark and light, is very similar. I want to pull it away a little bit, maybe this color. Like make you feel kind of like this pumpkin actually on the ground, on the grass. No, this is not what we want. This is pretty dirty. Just going to put it here, put the color like this, and just brush through it. and keep a little rough if you want. This is fine. I'm gonna continue. I reserve the right to change it again if you want. Okay, I'm just gonna do it like this. There is a nice texture. I might keep this texture. I'm gonna mix a little more. And it's very easy to mix the same color. And a little bit, this green is too bright, right? If you want to be less bright, the complementary color, which is the red. The theory, the idea is very simple. And maybe a little bit yellow, like this. Just thinking about play with the color and coming over here. Now it's two different colors. I think I'm going to add a little bit more red in here. Like this. Squint your eye so you can see how the color should look. How you only focus on the big picture, not any small details. I want to make the texture outside a little bit consistent, so the movement of the brush I want to keep a little bit similar. Now I'm looking at this outside. Should I make it a little bit darker? Maybe. Well, we can come back if I don't like it. So I'm going to make the outside here even darker. This is the experiment. You may be thinking, it's different. That is right. We try to make it different. And then we can come back maybe too dark, and then we can do that again, right? This is the crazy thing about acrylic. It's opaque. You can do it again and again. Get a little medium in here. I'm going to see whether or not I like it. If I do, I keep it. If I don't, I just let it go. It's definitely a little bit too dark. It looks a little bit depressed. Right? We want to add a little white into here. And maybe a little bit yellow. Like that. Let's see. Yeah. That probably it. So this is the experiment step. Right? It's very important to keep your mind open. Don't close it at the beginning. And don't go for, oh, look at the seed. Look at those details. Oh, it's interesting. Let's go for it. No, it's not yet, right? You keep it open. I'm going to give a little bit texture outside over here, like that. So fine. And on this side, let's keep it a little consistent. Like this. Okay. Be a little excited. And make yourself excited. And sometimes the process, it would help you to create the excitement, like the arm you're moving and the brush that you're doing, and that would help to make you excited. This is good. Now I have the color. Now I decide to make this side a little bit lighter. Now the outside colors looks good. Now that means let's go to the next. Now I know the outside color, how it look like. I'm just going to make the darker version of the color for the cast shadow. And get a little red, and similar to that color. Look for the cast shadow next to it. You see that? Now we know what color is supposed to be. Just a little bit darker color of the outside. If you imagine, if this is red, probably this color may be a little bit different. Maybe a little bit more purple, right? Because the cast shadow on top of that background. Now I'm going to put the darker color over here. Now you can see how important to make up your mind one step at a time. Now this is good. Now I'm going to wash my brush. Now what to do, I'm going to use an even bigger brush, like this. Now I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to start from this color. I'm going to get a little bit yellow, and a little bit red, because I'm going to deal with the light side. Also get a little medium, and this is the grass medium. so make it a little easier to move, and also have a little retarder medium to let it stay wet a little bit longer. Get a little white. That's good. And maybe a little bit more yellow. Just play with the color. Now let's see. I'm going to put this color over here. See that? It's lighter, right? We want a little bit lighter color. Just think about the shape. And what's the shape you're going to paint? And let's paint the shape over here like this. Looking for how the shape look like. Here you go. Looking for that. Looking for that shape. Now the whole light side create a little bit more contrast and make the light brighter compared with the outside. Now look like this and come up over here and then move it a little bit more out here, like right here, like that. Move it a little bit outside, coming like this. That's good. Now put it up here, and up here you can change the color a little bit, have a little bit more red. Let's see how far it go. I'm going to actually come in from here. Okay. Like that. Here you go. Now I have this color over here. Right? Like this. So I want you to have a little bit more experiment. You can come up with other colors for the background if you want. You say, oh, I'm going to pick my shirt color, I'm going to pick my pants color, I'm going to put it over there. It's totally up to you. Now I'm going to make this a little bit warmer, a little bit red, like that, maybe too much, and get the yellow color. You always can change it. Let's see, like this. And let the color show through from layer to the other layer. That's fine, like that. And think. And I'm going to just use this color. And I'm going to tap and get a little texture. Over there, just use the corner of this brush. Looking for everything just shapes. Okay? You don't want to say, I'm going to paint a pumpkin. You know you're painting a pumpkin. But when you're painting a pumpkin, it's just keep thinking about painting a pumpkin. It's not going to help you. You have to see the shape, see the color. Right? That's all you can pick up. So I'm going to put a little color over here. I'm going to make this color like this. And just think about like that. Get some smaller shape like that. Okay, that's good. That's how easy. As long as you don't think you're painting the pumpkin, and everything is become much easier for you. Now on the other side, I'm gonna have a little more red right over here. Actually, a little bit more red. Just showing that a little bit like this on the other side. That's good. Now I'm going to come into this area because now it has a little bit green, and so let's put the green color in here. But this color, when you squint your eye, you can see the difference. This color, how dark is it? It is darker than this, but lighter than this. But in this case, it may not be true because now the outside is darker. But it doesn't mean this is going to be dark, continuous, darkening because of the outside get darker. Because the color could coming from the other, the tree around here, maybe the other objects around. It will be can be a little bit lighter, right? So what I want to do, I'm going to pick this color first, and have a little bit orange color, get a little yellow, a little red coming here, and take a look. And I'm going to put this color. Yeah, very much it. I'm going to start over here like this. Am I going to have some reflected light, a little bit lighter, but fill in the color first. Thank you. and like this. Take a look. And coming through, just use the side of the brush like this, coming through. You can see a little bit of the skin like this. Right, like this, and coming this way. Now I filled in. Okay, now filled in over here. And this is the shape for the side. I want to get rid of this little white gap. It will pop because of the contrast. Now that's good. Now I'm going to use a similar color, get a little bit more yellow. On the other side, maybe this color is a little bit different. So I'll show it right over here. Right, they're showing it facing to the other side, like that. And also on this side, a little bit warmer, like that. Take a look at that. Now you can always have a second chance to come back to mix and fix the color. And let's see. I'm gonna have this color right here, like this, perfect, like that, brush stroke. And then coming over here, like that, and coming through on this side, and showing the edge, the opening on the other side, like that. And this is good, maybe a little bit yellow, a little bit green on this side, so I can change it, change the color. You can change it anytime. That's good. Now I'm going to get a little closer and closer and make it look real. And what we want to do is when we get a little white color over here and edge over here, I like to have a little bit, because it's the pumpkin, when it's first open, it actually looks a little bit wet, a little fresh. So add a little bit like this. And this is good. Like that, give a little bit accent. Okay. Now is very much good. On this side over here, maybe just keep it like that, but maybe get rid of that. So a little confusing. Okay. Use something similar to the outside value. Now I'm gonna do one more adjustment. I think it's a little bit too dark. Okay, you can always come back to the color composition and maybe make it even a little bit lighter than the other side of the pumpkin, like this. Because I just feeling that it catch the shadow kind of like lost. I want to show it a little bit more, like that. Like that, that's good. And also now it has the edge a little bit softer. It looks good. Like that. Because the painting is good as the whole painting, how it make other people feel. Okay, like that. And take a look at on the edge over here. I'm gonna make it a little bit sharper over here, like that, and maybe come in a little bit. Keep using the big brush, and actually will make you feel better, like over here, like that. Okay. So a little bit color change. Maybe the same color over here also can put over here too. A little bit. Make it a little bit lighter. So this is good. I like the texture. I don't want to break the texture at all. And now the whole painting composition, it feels good. So I'm going to use a little bit smaller brush now. And I'm going to use this smaller brush to start filling in a little bit reflected. Like see over here is flat color. Flat color means the same color all over the place. So you don't see any three-dimensional. To get the three-dimensional, I'm just going to mix a little bit lighter color than that. And what color is supposed to be? And a little green then. So I'm going to get a little bit the blue color and have a little bit a retarder medium, and like that, and maybe a little bit yellow. So I'm going to make this brush stroke very light, okay? So I'm going to just like this, and this side, you see that? like not pressing all the way. It's just a little bit on the top, like a brush through. One hand, you can get the texture of that, a little suggestions. And also you can see through the color underneath. That's great. Like that. Okay, a little bit over here. There's a very thin, small brush. And now I see a little bit changes inside the shadow side. And now I'm going to also add a little bit darker color, maybe a little red color here with the blue, and maybe add a little bit black. Looking at that, and a little bit blue, a little bit too warm, this color. Now it's good. Now I'm going to just give a little suggestion here. That's definitely too dark. Now I'm going to make it a little bit softer, like that. And I don't want the changes in this shadow side pop up too much. It's just a little bit suggestion. So I don't want it make it feel like it's something like a calling for, look at me, look at me. Okay, that's a little bit too much, right? So I'm going to use this a little bit darker color right underneath the pumpkin. And I can see that a little bit darker because that area almost like it has no light coming in, because that is inside the shadow and also underneath in the gap between the pumpkin and the surface of the table or the grass. Now that's good. Make it a little softer, brush through. And now it has something over there for you to look at, enjoy, right? Now what I want to do now, I'm going to add the seed, so make it a little bit more interesting. To do the seed, you first have to do a little darker color first. I'm going to have a little bit red, a little blue. I'm going to have a little bit kind of a brown color. So I'm going to add a little yellow, but not that much yellow. So I'm going to have this color, maybe too dark. So we're going to see. Okay, now what I want to do, looking at the seed, okay, right over here, draw the shape. And because the light colors of the seed is actually sitting inside in the middle of the whole seed. I'm just put the color over here first. And also I'm going to make this seed is not touching the other one. You have full control. You can say, okay, don't touch her. It's fine. Okay. You are the master. Okay. Now the other one, I'm going to have this connect with this one. Like that. And the other one over here. Okay. Knowing the process is simple. Okay. Ready? I'm going to keep going over here. Now I'm looking at the a little bit more red colors over here too. And a little seed over here, and that's something a little bit darker, but that's fine. And I can also paint a little line next to the seed if I need to. Now, one way here, I'm going to make a little darker color inside over here. Looks like there's something over here darker, some shape. Just put it there. That's fine. A little over here underneath the seed, a little bit darker, like that. Maybe a little bit darker over here, but I don't want to have the same kind of darkness color. So I'm going to change that, make that a little bit lighter. Just don't have to cover it 100% totally. Okay, like that color. And that's interesting. Now what I want to do next, I'm going to set the color, the lighter color in the seed. What's that color? Have a little bit more yellow. Compare the color with the color that you're going to paint. I want to have a little bit white. Okay, that looks like the seed color. And I, not including the highlights, I'm going to have this color first. And I'm going to start over here. Take a look. Pink some color inside over here. Like that. Alright. If you know how you will paint it, you just need the time to make it happen. That's it. And I'm going to have a small highlights on the top, and it would make it look a little bit more moisture and red as the seed, right? I'm going to pick this color. maybe have even a little bit thicker color, like that. And take a look at this one, like this, a little bit on the side. I'm gonna have a little bit lighter. Here you go. Take this color, I'm gonna just lay it right in the place. Because the seed is have 3D, though right now you can actually build it up, look like a 3-dimensional. I want this one actually look a little bit lighter than the others. Okay, that's good. Now coming over here on this one. So when I say, oh, look at the seed, that means this is what you try to create, represent that. But immediately you're looking for the color. Does that make sense? You don't want to think about, oh, I'm going to paint the seed, and then you lost your focus. Your focus is supposed to be looking at, oh, how am I going to find that color, right? So over here, I'm going to paint that color right over here, like that. That's good. And try to make the people think they are the seed. But in fact, on your painting, they're only color. Okay, now I'm going to come over here, have a little bit red, looking for the color different. Over here, I'm going to have a little bit color like this. That's fine. And a little color like this. That's fine. Okay, have a little bit more yellow color. And for this one, that looks good. And have a little bit darker color over here. And it looks like something over here. Now I'm going to add the little light color, almost look like a white. Now I'm going to take the white color over here and just going to use the corner of this brush. Look, I'm going to have this like that. I'm going to use a smaller brush. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the small brush, have a very small light. Okay, like this. Like this. And a little bit over here too, like that. And let's see, a little light over here. That's very important. And a little color over here. But next to it, I'm going to have a little bit yellow for this. Like this. And let's see, on the top over here, a little bit lighter, a little bit more yellow. Like that. A little bit over here. Just looking for the color. And now, I'm going to look for, there is a smaller shape over here. You see that there's always time for those small details after you're taking care of the bigger area, right? And those are very enjoyable for you to do it now. It's not at the beginning of that painting process. You don't want to make those small decisions right at the beginning. So now I'm getting that. And now what to do, I'm going to come back over here, have a little bit at this small brush, continue, make a little bit color around. And I think have a little bit more yellow in here, a little bit more like a little bit lighter color. Now here you go. Look at this. I can actually have a little line on top of here. That's good. And coming here, a little line on the outside over here. Like that. And I have a little bit more red color. It's almost there. The painting's almost done, right? Now I'm gonna coming over here. There is then connected and coming over like this. Oh, this is fun time. But actually it did not take too long to get to this point. Right? Okay, coming over here, connecting connecting to that. And let's see, a little bit more. On this side, actually the color coming all the way in here. And now let's take a look. There is some smaller shape on the seed. Like over here, have a little bit line. Like this. Make it more realistic for this little details. A little bit coming over here. Like that. That's good. And let's see. Over here, it has a little line on the outside. It just be a little patient. And now, the paintings are almost there. Now I'm going to come back to just to see if I have anything to adjust it. Now let's see the color over here. I can actually use the yellow-orange color. And just come over here. I think I'm going to give it a little bit lighter. A little bit lighter. Somewhere it's not just they all look the same. Somewhere a little bit lighter, like that. And now also going to add a little darker color, like especially over here. A little red, just red. No, have a little yellow. Okay, have it like that. And put that color in here. I'm going to make that color a little bit more interesting. Give it a little bit solid, and like this. I'm going to get rid of that white color. I don't need that. This. And look at that. That color can come in over here. Like this. And that color can be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to actually can replace that color with a little bit lighter. Like that. And over here, I'm going to remove this white color over here. I'm going to break that shape a little bit smaller. And here you go. Look at that. Look at over here. That. And this probably a little bit more red. Now, take a look. If anything else, I need to a little bit over here, like that. Now let's see. I just feeling this too sharp. Do you feel the contrast between this and that? I want the people to look at the pumpkin over here a little more. So I'm going to have this color connect a little bit, connect to the outside. Do you see a little bit too much contrast here? So I'm going to use a little bigger brush. So this kind of thing you can come back to, oh, I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting. In that case, I'm going to use a similar color from that and mix into, okay, something like this. A little closer to that color. Now the contrast a little bit less. I'm going to even add a little white color. And let's see. I'm just going to have that lessen the contrast. I'm not going to blend this color everywhere, just in this area. So it ease out this contrast. Now it's a little bit similar in the dark and light value. Okay, that's important in a painting. You need to knowing that how your painting is going to direct people's eye and when they're looking at a painting. So I don't want the people staying at that for too long. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, now I'm going to have this actually come in a little bit over here. Now my attention back to the whole paintings instead of just the seed and the small area. And over here, I think this is fine on this side. But over here, I'm going to have a little darker shape over there. I think it need to somehow break this shape a little bit. So I'm going to see. I see that in the reference. And I see that it's a little shape like this. Just a little opening. I'm not sure it will work. I think that kind of looks fun. And have a little bit something going on in the background. Just break it a little. That maybe. Break it a little. Like that. That's probably fine. And I have a little bit line. I think I like that line. A little bit like this. Going through. And then the painting is finished. Kind of wanted the texture come up over here. So the dry brush make a little texture.